So this is a DIBELS scoring sheet from kindergarten, and I pulled kindergarten because that's where I am currently working, so I give this test often. I made an example of student A. So if first sound fluency, this is the beginning of the year benchmark, they received only 2 points for that. And letter, name, fluency, they only knew 10 letters within the 1 minute time. You just add those two and you get 12. And the same for student B. On this, it shows you the kindergarten DIBELS benchmark. So these are our measurements. This is where our students should be. We have our above, on or above benchmark, strategic, and intensive support. So this student A, if they receive a comp score of 12, that would put them in the intense instruction. So we would be giving them lots of RTI support. We'd be testing them weekly or bi-weekly. For student B, they got strategic support. Their comp was 25, but they're at the very top of that. So we might, we'll watch them, and they may only get the progress monitoring every 3 weeks with the course support, but we would definitely be giving them what they're needing during their RTI time. These are the benchmark goals that the University of Oregon posted. So it's pretty much the same as the last slide I showed, but I like the color coding so you really knew exactly where the kids should be. But on this one, it gives you the recommended goal for each subtest. So you have the first sound fluency, the letter naming, and all the way down. And each one of these is provided for each grade level. So for accommodations, you don't generally see a lot of accommodations in our school. If a student is in special ed, you would be, usually some students will have DIBELS, but most students have an alternative assessment. But there is things available as large print. You can underline or use a ruler to go down through. But if you do anything than these approved accommodations, then DIBELS will not be valid or reliable. DIBELS test is suited for English learners with a few exceptions: a student that is deaf, a student who have fluency-based speech disabilities, stuttering, oral apraxia. In our school, we actually have this year in kindergarten is the most students that I've seen with speech difficulties. So I actually spoke to our speech pathologist the other day, and she's going to sit down and score DIBELS with me. So both of us will be testing, I'll be testing that child. She'll be sitting beside me doing her own scores, and then we'll talk about it after to make sure that the student is not getting points taken off for a stuttering issue. There is they also have a Spanish test available for DIBELS. The DIBELS price is actually quite cheap. You can download a lot of the materials free. Our school uses Amplifier, the online version, which is amazing, and it is about $1 per student per year. Everything's on our iPad. It's very quick and easy. DIBELS training, they offer dynamic measurements groups, provides a variety of training options designed by the author of DIBELS. So you can do online, on-site, or institutes. Our school sent away our reading coach, and she is our mentor. So she then comes back and she trains all of us. Administrating DIBELS, it's very brief. Each test is a minute, beginning to end, except for the days, does take 3 minutes. Scoring is very quick. If you're using the iPad, it's automatically done for you. If you're doing pen paper, it's literally counting out your raw score. It's very quick. DIBELS score should never be used to grade a student. The measurement should only be used for instructional decision making and grouping students. I went on the mental yearbook and it wanted me to buy a $300 book or the individual test review, so I decided not to do that, but I did review it on a different site, to DIBEL or to not to DIBEL, answering questions about fluency-based measurement in the era of response to intervention by Michael Ford at the University of Wisconsin. So it was like a 27, 28 page report, and basically it came down to the test measurements of the first DIBELS when they first created DIBELS was it missed a lot of things. So the scores were not very accurate. DIBELS went back, the authors went back, they created the new DIBELS next, and they had a lot of changes with the new forms and passages, improved directions. It replaced initial sound fluency with first sound fluency. It added days with additional indicators of comprehension. It had a better scoring booklet. It also gave you a place to respond to patterns of retell or frequent patterns of errors that students were making. The new benchmark goals and cutoff points for at-risk students were also changed. All of those things will help a teacher stay in the guidelines of the No Child Left Behind and IDEA. And it will help DIBELS to create instructional groups for RTI. But the author of this, Michael Ford, his belief was that DIBELS still misses predictions of reading performance and other assessments. Students can read quickly, but they aren't being tested on the comprehension of what they actually read. He also had a problem with the vocabulary. But he also, his ending was it's all about money and politics, and DIBELS did their fix at the same time that No Child Left Behind and the IDEA Act was coming forth, where they really needed to make schools accountable for their RTI and to get those early interventions. Personally, I use DIBELS a lot. I think that they have very accurate scores for kindergarten. Those are for their basic literacy skills. And if they don't have those, they will not go on to do the oral reading fluency. So I'm a fan of DIBELS. And I guess that is the end of my presentation. Sorry for the mumbling. I do not like recording myself. I look forward to seeing all of your reviews. Thanks.